Assalamualaikum and salam sejahtera to Prof. T.S. Dr. Effendi bin Muhammad. We are from Btec Section 1 from Grade 8 and we want to present about economy and industrial China influence to future of Malaysia, manufacturing and service industry. This is our group members. First me, Nur Syafiqah Izzati binti Zamdi, Siti Mariam binti Zaini, Nora Afida binti Abdul Rahman, Siti Nur Aisyah binti Ramli, Lo Chun Yong and Chua Yit Liang. Now, we continue with introduction. Introduction is divided in 4, which is background of title, objective, the importance of the title to study and scope. As of 2021, economic relation between Malaysia and China remains strong even though the rest of the world is still facing difficult challenges due to the COVID-19 pandemic. China is still Malaysia's largest trading partner in 80.6% in 2020. Malaysian export to China last year grew to 18.1%, involve a value of $37.77 billion, conside RM156.74 billion, while China is also Malaysia's largest source of important involves 21.5% of overall import. China is the highest investor in Malaysia with an investment value of $4.41 billion, side RM18.30 billion. A total of 71 manufacturing projects involves participation from China approved last year are expected to create more than 10,000 jobs in Malaysia. There are 3 potential yet untapped economic domain in bilateral investment and trade between Malaysia and China. Among the famous China product in Malaysia is Linong Cartridge, Sense brand of electronic hardware, Cherry is the famous brand of car, and Oppo is a brand of phone which is now dominated by the Malaysian market. Those aspects are the digital economy, the fourth industrial revolution, and sustainable development include green technology, renewable energy, and climate change mitigation. Malaysia, which is one of the first countries to support China ban of road initial BRI project, remain confident in the initiative. Such initiative will open up more boundaries and connectivity. In line with Malaysia's vision of shared prosperity 2030, Malaysia support the spirit of working together for a better future with China. Next, we continue about objective. Objective about this topic is to know more about trade relation between Malaysia and China, to study more about Malaysian electronic goods and service with China, to find out the extent to which the great power of the world economy dominates the production of manufacturing technology, to study how the manufacturing sector can add a value to the natural resource of the economy, and to show the benefit of China goods to the Malaysian market. The importance of the title to the study. This is what we think the important for the title to the study. First, add knowledge to students about the importance of trade activities in China and Malaysia. Learn more about the great power of the world economy over the manufacturing sector. And last, introduce to students the good trades by China to Malaysia. And for scope, Malaysia has been a strategic achievement for rich country over the first century by creating a high quality manufacturing sector to achieve prosperity and national strength. From the rise of England in the 19th century to the rise of the United States, Germany, Japan, and Russia in the 20th century, to newly industrialized nations such as Korea, Taiwan, and now emerging China, manufacturing was the key to success national economy. The great power of the world economy are the countries that control most of the world production of manufacturing technology. It is not enough to just own a factory and produce more goods. An economy must also know how to make machine and machinery for the production of the good. Thus, the key to economic power is to master the manufacture of machine, machinery, and equipment in production. China, the United States, Germany, Japan, and Italy are examples of countries that dominated the world's factory machinery production industry. Next, manufactured goods are required for trade. According to World Trade Organization (WTO), 80% of world trade is in the form of manufactured goods and only 20% in the form of services. If a country only has a services industry, the country will be poor because it has no good to trade and the value of its currency will be very weak. Therefore, there will be a trade deficit because the country has a high imported value compared to export value. Next, manufactured goods are very important for the service industry. Although the service industry contributes almost 2 per 3 to the GDP of most countries in the world, the service industry relies on manufactured goods for operating and technological advancement. For example, the wholesale and retail industries, which account for about 16% of our country's GDP, run the business for selling manufacturing goods. Next example, with the aviation industry, the telecommunication industry, and the real estate industry, which each rely on airplane, telephone, and broadcast equipment, building for the operation and investment of their businesses. Next, each of the manufacturing job can create 3 other sector jobs. Studies by the U.S. Institution of Economic Policy have found that each manufacturing job supports nearly 3 other jobs in an economy, although a concept referred to as the multiplier effect. The multiplier effect is an economic term that refers to how an increase in one economic activities can lead to an increase in many other related economic activities. Lastly, the manufacturing sector adds value to the natural resources of an economy. During pre-independence, our national economy depended on the export of tin and rubber from our so-called commodities. Commodity prices are indeed known to be very volatile aspects when compared to manufactured goods. The falling price of tin and rubber have affected our country's economy. When a country changes from commodity producer to industrial manufacturing, the commodity is processed, made into finishing goods and exported. And now, our country can be proud to be the largest exporter of rubber gloves, of medicine and medical equipment made of rubber.
And now I will continue for my part literature review. Generally, we know that the manufacturing system has gone through with many phases of change and development from one stage to a more advanced stage. This has ranged from the manual process into the automatic machine, and day by day, the manufacturing sector continues to grow. In consequence of the implementation of the Movement Control Order, or called as PKP, to curb the spread of the COVID-19 epidemic in 2020. The electrical and electronic E&E subsector was significantly affected by the sharp decline in the global demand. Not only that, the manufacturing and service sector contracted following the temporary cessation of almost all industry operation. Epidemic has also had unforeseen effect on the global and regional economies. Despite that, China has maintained ties with Malaysia for 4 consecutive years as the largest foreign investor in Malaysia in the manufacturing sector since 2016. In fact, even in the face of the COVID-19 epidemic crisis, Malaysia and China continue to show good relations with each other. However, the manufacturing sector is expected to increase in the second half of 2020 as industrial activity gradually operates and the E&E subsector improves, following which increasing demand. Okay, referring in this data, China has contributed 28.7% of global manufacturing output in 2019. That has put the country 10 percentage points ahead of the United States, which one had the largest manufacturing sector in the world until China overtook it in 2010. Besides that, the United States has recorded is 16.8%, which takes the second highest place after China. Furthermore, it was followed by Japan in third place, which recorded a manufacturing sector percentage of 7.5%. Then Germany ranked the fourth place with a manufacturing sector percentage of 5.3%. Next, India has climbed one rung of the percentage of the world manufacturing sector of 3.1%, leaving the South Korea below, which recorded a percentage of 3.0%. Next, the percentage of Italy world construction sector decreased to 2.1%, while the French and the United Kingdom are still at the same percentage from 2018 to 2019, which recorded 1.9% and 1.8% respectively, and Indonesia has risen to replace Mexico in 10th place with a percentage of 1.6%.
Now I will continue my part, which is the factor of China economy and industry influence the future of Malaysia manufacturing and service industry in electric and electronic sector. Firstly, China has a direct influence on its neighbor through bilateral trade according to the ASEAN Driver Framework. Agreement, their bilateral electronic and electrical trade structure disaggregate by complexity based on the trade balance study from 1992 to 2013 and a description of Malaysia export and import structure to and from China. The Brody index is then used to disaggregate by bilateral electronic and electrical trade structure and the electronic and electrical part and component trade in order to evaluate indicator of upgrading. Second is notwithstanding Malaysia's advantage in selling IC chip to China. As a reminder, China is now Malaysia's largest trading partner in terms of trade value. In 1992, 2002 and 2013, the volume of China trade with Malaysia increased dramatically. Since 2009, China has surpassed Malaysia's traditional commercial partner such as Japan, the United States, the Singapore to become the country's largest trading partner. Third is Malaysia and China have a bilateral trade relationship. Malaysia export to China climbed by 19.2% per year between 1992 and 2013, from $0.8 billion in 1992 to $30.8 billion in 2013, somewhat faster than its import from China, which increased by 18.4% per year between 1992 and 2013, from $1.0 billion in 1992 to $33.8 billion in 2013. Malaysia's import from China increased in tandem with an export to China, implying to China bilateral trade with Malaysia has mostly avoid large trade imbalance. Next is indicate the importance of electrical and electronic equipment as Malaysia personificate product over time. Electrical and electronic equipment export to China were valued at $1.5 billion in 2002, accounting for 29.2% of overall export and rose to $10.5 billion in 2013, accounting for 34.1% of overall. The electronic and electrical business is the appropriate option for my research on the impact of China race on Malaysia manufacturing sector since it accounts for the biggest proportion of overall export. On the other hand, Malaysia's top export to China switched from predominantly shipping timber and articles of wood, charcoal in 1992, electrical and electronic goods in 2013. Based on the structure of Malaysia import from China show evidence of upgrading which compares 1992, 2002 and 2013. In 1992, grains were the most common commodity imported from China to Malaysia. Now, electronic and electrical items are the most common. Furthermore, since 2002, Malaysia import of primary products from China, ranging from cereal to ores, slag and ash, have not been in the top 10 commodities imported from China. Lastly, is Malaysia export to China have remained centered on electronic and electrical throughout time. This is based on a comparison of 2013, second most exported and imported item. In both 2002 and 2013, Malaysia imported more machinery from China, On the other hand, Malaysia is progressively exporting animal, vegetable fats and oils and cleavage products, which has displaced equipment as the second most popular item in 2013. Although the decline in Malaysia machinery export to China has concern, it does not negate the benefits of Malaysian expertise in electronic and electrical exports.
Now I'm going to talk about the progress in analysis and idea. China has made big strides as a manufacturing power by attracting large numbers foreign direct investment to come invest in the middle income country. This has caused Malaysia to start focusing on the service sector as their new alternative growth engines, as it cannot catch up to a more advanced economy in terms of manufacturing technology, organizational skill, and brand building. For example, Malaysia started actively promoting the knowledge-intensive service sector by liberalizing 27 internal service subsectors in April 2009. Furthermore, in December 2001, China began to enter the World Trade Organization. It made the emergence of a new era in the global trade. It can benefit Malaysia's exports of natural goods as the export price of commodities increase such as crude oil and agricultural products like palm oil. This is because Malaysia has established long relations with China, especially in diplomatic relations in 1974. And in 2009, China was known as Malaysia's #1 trading partner according to the trade value. Therefore, China's development will affect the future of Malaysia. In addition, with the bilateral trade between China and Malaysia being conducted, it can generally avoid large trade imbalance, and the electronic and electrical or E&E industry is becoming the option for an investigation into the China race to Malaysia futures. The structure of bilateral trade between Malaysia and China can be shortened by the using methods of measuring sophistication in regional production networks to better understand the goods trade. This can be seen when Malaysia exports more sophisticated E&E products to China from time to time based on the increase in the rate of more sophisticated E&E exports to the total export. Example like integrated circuits. Furthermore, in upgrading the E&E exports, Malaysia has changed from being a supplier for finished goods to a supplier with more share and components to other countries. This could indicate Malaysia's transitional role in the region's production network to widely in line with regional production network literature. In the Chinese investment channel, it has prompted Malaysia to enhance its E&E value chain in the long run. This can be seen with one case of Henry Wago, which diverted foreign direct investment from Malaysia to create opportunities for largest Malaysia technology startups. After that, with the rest of China, it has also enabled the Malaysian E&E industry to be upgraded to meet the demand for automation machine. For the semiconductor industry, with a focus on the role-playing scanning electron microscope sector that support China's demand for semiconductor production, automation, and inspection. This makes Malaysia a country that has the potential to capitalize on China's ambition to dominate the global semiconductor markets and directly enable the minimum wage in coastal industrial area in Malaysia are enhanced.
I'm going to present about recommendation for Malaysian government to improve our manufacturing system, especially in subsector in electric and electronic. The first recommendation is opening up with foreign investment. One of the largest investor in Malaysia, especially in manufacturing sector, is China. China is optimistic that its trade and investment with Malaysia will reach a new level in the post-pandemic era. This investment is beneficial and improve the Malaysian economy. Furthermore, cooperation between China and Malaysia also very important. This is because China is the greatest power in the field of electric and electronic. Cooperation between these two parties will give benefit to our local company such as Inari Technology, Karsep. Other than that, the Malaysian government need to provide a budget to the manufacturing sector, especially in E&E sector. It's aimed to advance and increasing the potential of this sector. The 2022 budget has offered a good direction and area of focus for the E&E sector to grow, and we look forward to more progress as Malaysia move toward Industry 4.0.
In conclusion, the resurgence of China has presented both challenge and opportunity for developing countries like Malaysia. Following the Asian Driver Framework, this study investigates the impact of China rise on Malaysia electric and electronic sector through the trades and investment channel. The study also investigates China impact on the IC industry backward linkage in the semiconductor test machine segment. As the Malaysian-China economic relationship enters its fifth decade, both sides have enough goodwill to expand investment and trade lead. Bilateral trade is already significant. The Trans-Asian Railway Network Agreement, which will extend the Trans-Asian Railway, has the potential to strengthen trade ties. One way forward is to strengthen investment ties in manufacturing. These two countries are cooperating through two industrial parks that are still in their early stage. The other option is to concentrate on the trade and investment in service, particularly education and tourism. Again, given China economy important to Malaysia, Malaysia is likely to benefit the most. However, Malaysia remains strategically important to China as it seeks to advance its political interest in Asia more broadly and in Asia specifically. That's all from us.